So if the fats that we're eating, particularly I'm assuming processed fats that we're eating, are affecting the function of our endothelium, would more natural source of fat, say from nuts or avocados, do the same thing? Or?
Well, the final word isn't in, but it appears that if you eat your fats as nature provides them, they're packaged differently. They're packaged in a micelle, which is a little ball of fat that floats through the blood vessel very nicely. It's soluble in the blood, and it doesn't coat the lining, the endothelium, and so there's no deterioration. We don't see any deterioration or very little deterioration in nuts when you eat them just naturally, or avocado or olives. But if you take that nut and grind it, and then the oil comes to the top and you drink the nut oil, well, of course you're going to have the same thing with olives. If you drink the olive oil or eat a lot of olive oil, you're going to have a decrease in endothelial function more than if you just ate the olive. Interesting.
Very interesting. Normally when we think of circulation, we think about our heart.
Right.
And we think about, our feet and that sort of thing. But circulation is critical for our brain as well.
Yeah, everyone worries about a heart attack. But I tell them, don't worry about your heart. It's going to last as long as you live. And it's
that's
true.
Comforting.
Your heart's going to last as long as you live. But that's not necessarily true with your brain, is it? There's dementia. There's strokes, and the last thing I want is to have my body still here, my heart still beating, and I've got dementia. Circulation is critically important in preventing dementia as well.
Wow.
So perfect health depends upon perfect circulation, and we really need to think, I wonder how this food that I'm eating is affecting my circulation. I wonder whether I'm drinking enough water. Am I getting enough exercise? More exercise is better, up to 30, 60 minutes a day. 6 to 8 glasses of water. If you're not exercising, if you are and sweating, a little more. And keeping the fats more natural, keeping our oils limited. If you're active, some oil's certainly not going to hurt unless you have a critical problem.
Right.
Keeping the sugar down to a minimum. I'm not saying never have sugar, but if you're going to have that dessert, obey your mom. She was right. Have that dessert with your meal so you don't dump the sugar in a hurry. Right. Simple principles, but they make a huge difference in your blood flow.
Mom usually was right, and she did tell me to eat my desserts with a meal and not to snack between meals.
Right.
But she also taught me to drink plenty of water. But I've never really thought about the impact of fat on my vascular system. And so I'm thinking now about food preparation. I eat a fairly healthy diet, but the concept of, reducing even further the amount of fats, this is something that I've been learning about lately, and it's actually not that hard to do. I'm from the South, and we eat a lot of gravy down there. And so what's in gravy? It's a lot of fat.
A lot of fat.
I've learned to, instead of browning the flour in oil or fat, brown it in a dry pan and then add the liquid. It tastes just as good minus the fat.
Right. There are many things that you can do to reduce the fat. And I'm not into a low-fat diet. We need some fat. And if fat tastes good. But I would say get your fats naturally whenever you can, in seeds and in grains. They have fat in them, in nuts and in olives and in avocado. Get your fats packed the way nature does, particularly if you're not real active, particularly if you have coronary artery disease or you're at high risk for a stroke. If you have blood vessel problems, then it's more important. If you're very active and you're like my son running ultra marathons, well, a little oil is going to be fine. Yeah. But, if you're not, if you're getting, if you're more than halfway to the century mark like I am, a little care is always in order when you're thinking about your circulation.
So perfect health is dependent upon perfect circulation.
Absolutely.
And things that we can do to help our circulation are increase our water, because most of us are only consuming 2 glasses a day.
2 to 3.
And
we need more. We need 6 to 8.
Yeah, okay. Be aware of our diet and how that affects what we're doing. So I haven't really thought much about circulation. It's a wonderful topic. I'm going to be thinking more about it now. So thank you so much for joining us today on Healthy Living. We hope that this program has been a blessing to you. We would love to hear from you if you have any questions about this particular show, or if you have suggestions or topics that you'd like to see us cover in the future. You may reach us by calling Parkview Adventist Medical Center in Brunswick, Maine at 207-373-2162. Again, 207-373-2162. You can also find us on the web at www.parkviewamc.org. Thank you for joining us today, and we look forward to having you on a future show here at Healthy Living.